So my project was to create a presentation on sound therapy for the Health Science Initiative Flute for Health conference. And I was really excited to do this because I had never compiled my research in a document before, and I had also never presented on it. So I was really excited to come out of the closet and talk about this work that I do, and potentially have it be received by people. So I started the process by going through my main reference materials, which I do not have up here, were a couple of books, one of which is called Biofield Tuning, Eileen McCusick. This book was the first book I read on biofield tuning, and also John Billia's book, Human Tuning, which is by far my favorite, and The Body Electric. So these were the three books that I reviewed before starting my project, and I just skimmed through them to jog my memory. And I actually had my interview with Eileen McCusick. She's in here somewhere. Right before I did this presentation. So, and I found that one of the professors from the university had reviewed her book. And that was really exciting. This is Eileen McCusick. She's a pioneer in the biofield tuning world. She coined that term, and she's studying this at a PhD level now, and that's something I'll get into in a little bit. So I went through the books and identified some key points that I wanted to talk about, and then I made several sketches in my notebook about how I want to do the presentation, like outlines. And then I worked with my friend Clarissa for several days and got everything together. So this is my PowerPoint. I had so much material in here that I ended up taking it out, and I printed out this PowerPoint with all of the material on it and then reprinted a separate one that I would actually present. I'm not PowerPoint savvy. I know there's ways to have like notes hidden that you can see but aren't projected. Again, I just don't know how to do that. So, and it turns out I didn't even need my notes. I was just able to speak on this stuff. So, so this is my presentation. I started off with what is the goal of sound therapy? What is sound therapy? What are the tools that I use in my practice? Again, this is different than music therapy. It's also different than sound baths, where someone sits with like crystal bowls and different instruments and kind of creates a soundscape, which is lovely and super fun. But this is a little bit more technical and clinical. And I really wanted to feature that clinical research in my presentation. So I talked about John Billia's work and the peer-reviewed studies on nitric oxide release in the body, which I just think is so fascinating. And I focused on this. I did a lot of slides in this because I knew there would be some nurses and medical people in the audience. So I wanted to present that this has actually been studied and with repeatable experiments. And I talk about how sound can be used to balance the nervous system, and that also goes in with the production of nitric oxide. Talking about Eileen McCusick's biofield work, which is a large part of what I incorporate into my practice, was a little bit scary for me because, as you can see here on the right, there's a diagram which can be likened to someone's aura and chakras. And these are like terms that get thrown around in the West, and we don't really know what they mean, but we feel the vibe of them, and it can be like, it's easy for people to dismiss this kind of language and this kind of model, especially in medicine. So I was nervous to present on this, but I felt compelled to include it, and it was great that I did because it got the attention of someone that is very important and that I wanted to get the attention of. So there are people that are receptive to this kind of stuff. Again, I'm talking about, once you start talking about consciousness, it gets a little hard to measure, and I think that's hard for medicine and science. So, but I did include it. I'm glad I included it. By the time I got to this point in my presentation, time was up, so I kind of had to run through it. So when I talked to Eileen, like, my bigger plan is that I'm potentially interested in taking this work to the graduate level. And I feel like the University of Arizona is a really great place to do that because it's a Research One university. I am familiar and friends with a lot of the faculty, and there are, like, the Andrew Weil School of Integrative Medicine. There are communities at the University of Arizona that are open to alternative studies. So when I talked to Eileen, she is getting her PhD at, I forget the university, but it just got accredited, and she's studying biofield sciences. And I think that's extraordinary. And she's studying under Shamini Jain. I don't know if I said that right. So this is some of the, these are some of the models. It's a holistic model. The biofield is a holistic way of thinking about our energy, our health, our wellness, our mental health, our emotional health. So that's really exciting and inspiring. So I can't find the notes right now, but I wrote up kind of a 3-tiered plan, maybe I can find it, for a graduate study, and presented it to Dr. Luce. Maybe it's in here somewhere. Yeah, here's just a snippet of it. So it would be studying sound as a tool. So you would study music performance and composition, integrative medicine, and then sound itself, like acoustics. And I know that the School of Audiology has some really interesting classes that could be applicable. So I presented that to Dr. Luce, and it was a very interesting conversation. So I'm kind of pulling together a lot of different things here, and ultimately I'm going to go with what I'm most drawn to, what I feel like I have the most passion for, because that's the only way I can really sustain anything I do. So, but it's really exciting, and it was really exciting to present this to